I always like to start these off with a roll call. So let us know where you are listening from in the chat. I see we have some people here from Indonesia, from South Africa, somebody else from South Africa, India, Spain, Alabama, France, Nigeria, Switzerland, Poland. We are all waiting for alt season, somebody says. Well, we're going to get into that, trust me. So just to stick around. Netherlands, there you go. You got a Dutch person in there. Pakistan. Okay, I can't read all of these. Wakanda. Amazing. Okay. So before we get into the chat, let me just introduce our guests for today. Like I said before, today we have Michael Vanderpump, who probably needs no introduction if you've been active on crypto Twitter, but let me attempt to give one anyways. So Michael is a 32-year-old economist, crypto trader, and crypto expert from the Netherlands who has spent several years as a full-time trader. Are you? I'm not sure if you're still a full-time trader. I think you're not full-time trading anymore, right?
Actually, since the last time we spoke, I'm back to the grind, so I'm full-time
Oh,
trading
okay.
for our company. So yeah.
Okay, so Michael remains a full-time trader. He's also the founder of MN Trading, an educational crypto community, as well as MN Consultancy, MN Capital, and MN Marketing. MN Consultancy has since evolved into MN Fund, an investment fund that focuses on volatility trading and OTCs, while MN Capital invests in and advises early stage Web3 projects with the goal of accelerating blockchain adoption, while MN Marketing supports crypto and Web3 projects with strategic branding and community building. Recently, Michael also joined the lowly ranks of us podcasters, and he now produces the New Era Finance podcast, where he hosts in depth conversations on crypto, finance, and the future of the economy. So, welcome to CMC Live, and how's your day going so far?
Thank you. Well, that's a long list of stuff that we do. It's always a big reminder, but day's good. Day's busy. We are in the final few days before we get into conference season.
Mm,
October, November, and December are going to be packed with some great events. But then, especially if you create content, you need to do a lot of preparing. Um,
yes.
so yeah, it's a little hectic, but the final few days, and then we get off to Singapore first.
Mm. Is there anything that I missed in the intro that you feel like is worth kind of people having the context of before we start the conversation?
I think it's actually it all was in there. So the fund, the capital, the podcast, and the marketing are just our core businesses, and ultimately we try to achieve Web3 adoption and providing a positive impact for any party involved. So for the fund, it's just retail investors get exposure in the markets through our way of trading it. By capital, we try to help founders to have a bigger chance of success, which is difficult enough. And with the podcast, we try to make crypto a little bit more easy. So we poke founders in questions that we try to get answered, but also simplify it for people that are listening. And then we still
Mhm.
have our social media channels that where I have my altcoin portfolio on YouTube, for instance, where people can follow me in the journey that crypto provides, and that's hectic enough.
Yeah, that's already a lot. Yeah. So again, I know people, I'm sure, are wanting to get your thoughts on the bull run, the bull market, rate cuts, altcoins, different trends. But again, as we let some more people filter in here, I want to ask you just more broadly. I know you got into crypto in 2017. People tell me that because I got in 2020 that I'm an OG now as a podcaster and live streamer now. Um, my perspective of what is an OG is a bit different. Like I've talked with people who got into Bitcoin in 2009, and so I feel like I'm quite late to the party. But that said, for a lot of people, you have been in crypto for several years, almost a decade at this point. So I'm curious, just since 2017 to 2025, how have you seen crypto evolve, and what are some of the lessons you've learned, the perspectives that you've gained along the way?
Oh, um, Yeah, I started back in February 2017, so this is my third cycle now. Um, whatever cycle there still is. I think that's one of the topics that we will discuss. But I am genuinely, for the first time, getting as excited as I was back in 2017. In 2017, everything was new for me. Um, Great vision, great ideas by projects, but no real execution. And now we're getting into the green light of the US, and we just pop up great ideas and execution, simplifying crypto. And most of the times, people don't even know that they're using blockchains. And that excites me a lot because that opens up so many opportunities for everyone. Um, Biggest lessons, I think, um, if you look at it from a trading perspective, I've definitely learned to become more conservative. I think that's what a lot of people should be doing as well. And from the technology perspective, I think I've realized that it's very hard to get people into crypto, and it doesn't really make sense to keep on trying. Ultimately, crypto needs to be as good that everybody will use it anyway. And I think we're getting into that stage where it's proven that stable coins, for instance, are way better than fiat currencies. And that's why you see the quick acceleration. The combo between AI and blockchain finally has a use case. But just in general, everything that we have seen over the past 8 years, for instance, DeFi, is having a next layer right now, and it makes sense, and institutions are using it. NFTs are even coming back with NFCs or any other new versions for that. AI is having a new run. So it's just a big cocktail of excitement that we currently have. And I think that I became a critic, I became opportunistic, and I think uh, I've became different by looking at the charts over the years, where I've tried to make that sort of big run on an altcoin that everybody is looking for. And right now, we just try to get and look at opportunities in the markets and compound those returns instead of predicting and hoping that something goes 100x.
Mm. Yeah, I think what you said about the kind of your excitement returning is interesting, especially with the like you said. I think you said the green lights
Mm-hmm.
in the U.S. in terms of regulation, and it sort of feels like to me at least that we'll probably. I mean, we're seeing some of the early signs, positive signs of that green light being there, but I feel like it's probably going to be a little bit like if you're a big person, if you have a lot of money, or you're a big investor or something, like startups can go in stealth for years sometimes before they go public. So I feel like the people that are feel like they have the green light now, it might be we might have a little bit of time to wait before we really see the true impact of the sort of positive change in regulation. At least that's my perspective. Maybe you have a different one.
No, I think you're completely right on that. So basically, what happens when you get the green light from the regulator is that you are creating a lot of hype and sentiment. Before something is really integrated into a system or into a society, takes years and years and years. So what is happening right now is that we are seeing a lot of news items coming by with this project is working with this company, or the government is working with or having a meeting with Chainlink and with Stani and with Vitalik and stuff. That is all great, but it takes years before it actually is being adopted and executed so people can use it. And before that, you have one sort of massive hype cycle taking place where people are getting super excited by the fact that the government is going to use certain parts of blockchain or certain protocols. And the other side is that basically by getting the green light for the creation and the adoption of innovative protocols, is that you have 15,000 stablecoins all trying to create yield in several ways, which we all don't need to use. So it's one sort of big chaotic period where we have a lot of trial and error. And until we get through this phase, that's when we are really going to see the adoption curve starting to kick in. So I often call this the last real easy cycle, but that's because there is not a bigger party ready to join the markets than the US. And I think that's what is creating the next big hype cycle in terms of interest, not in terms of adoption that comes afterwards. Um, and that is what excites me in this cycle and what brings me back to 2017, because 2017 was also a cycle integrating new users, a bigger market, whereas 2021 was just a VC play where we had a lot of money printing, but not really any progressive adoption aside from DeFi or the first try that we did. So I think that we are in the early stages or in the middle of the dot-com bubble cycle crypto. But I think ultimately in the long run, we can clearly see that crypto isn't going to go away.
I completely agree. So let's jump into the market now. If you'll give me a second here, I'm just going to share my screen and bring up kind of the state of the market of where we are right now. So overall, we're seeing a little bit of red on the 7 day charts. Bitcoin is down about 2%, Ethereum is down 6.8%, XRP down 3.5, Solana down 8.53. If we look at the market cap, we'll see that we're not like crazy low by any means. We're sitting around 3.92, but we're also have seen a bit of a dip from mid September when we got as high as 4.12. We'll also see that the fear and greed index is now at 39, which puts us back in the just barely into the fear side of things. So, where do you think we are in the market right now? Like, what's the state of the market now? Is the bull run over, or do we still have more positive momentum to look forward to?
I mean, it has never been as divided as right now. If I scroll on Twitter, which I occasionally do to just grab the sentiment, then it's either we are done and the bull market is over, or we're going to have a longer cycle. It just feels like politics came into crypto just to divide us all. Um, but I think if we look at the markets right now, we just had a very standard correction taking place. It's usually typically September correction, October correction, somewhere there. I don't know if we're going to get a little bit more down. It's all depending on the macroeconomics. Gold is still rallying up substantially, showing that we are in a risk off period. But other than that, we can see that altcoins are strongly waking up. So, on the larger picture, I think that we are going to get into a phase where the Fed is going to do rate cuts, do more. They are going to fear a weaker economy in the US, so that increases the chances of a monetary expansion. And by doing so, we start to see a higher demand coming into crypto, basically due to the fact that people are looking for yields in terms of assets to hold, but also because DeFi becomes more attractive in the yield that you can generate from DeFi in general compared to the standard bank account. And from that perspective, I think we are going to get into the real bull cycle that we haven't seen. So if we compare cycles, then I assume that we are currently at Q4 2019, Q1 2020, and that we still have a long way to go. And that the people that are expecting the bull market to be nearly over are going to be the ones that are going to be sitting on the sidelines, waiting for a correction to occur.
Yeah, I think some people had kind of expected that immediately after the US Fed announced it was cutting interest rates by just 25 basis points, by the way, that there would be this like immediate massive increase in crypto prices and in the crypto market
Mhm.
cap.